Part 48. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ryu Xiahua. Chapter 471. When Li Yuan handed over the red envelope. Yunian's little hand, while Li Yuan was not paying attention, gently scratched the back of Li Yuan's hand, and then reluctantly took the red envelope. When Yunian's little hand crossed the back of his hand, Li Yuan's heart skipped a beat. He glanced at the girl from Shanghai Theater School in front of him with some surprise. The other party's intentions were too obvious. The look in his eyes that looked at him made his scalp tingle. He had no doubt that as long as he was willing, this girl named Yunian would climb into his bed without hesitation after contacting him at the awards show. Li Yuan muttered secretly. Tisk, tisk, it's too famous, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I get noticed by all kinds of girls all day long. Li Yuan calmly took out his hand. He originally wanted to say something to encourage Yunian, but he swallowed it back in his throat. If we chat a few more words, the girlfriends in the audience will be jealous. As Li Yuan handed out cash red envelopes one by one to the winning milk tea girls, the audience in the audience also talked a lot. Tisk tisk. He is worthy of being the Xiahua male god. He is so arrogant in his actions. He directly handed out cash. I thought it would be a tea beauty and moonlight recharge card. Haha, that is not the style of the summer flower goddess. Besides, with the popularity of Chayan Use, there are so many people queuing in front of every store every day. Why would they still use this method? I want to know. The reward of only 10,000 cash now is still convenient to hold if the top 10 winners take the stage and receive hundreds of thousands or millions of prizes. Do they also have to find cash? Probably not. In that case, it would be too unsafe. After the award-winning rounds began, Li Yuan's smile was almost numb. Perhaps, they are really all his fans. Perhaps, it is to follow the trend. The milk tea girls who came on stage next to receive awards also asked me to give them awards and then take a group photo. As a last resort, Li Yuan could only award awards to these 90 milk tea girls over and over again. Next, the awards will begin for the 4th to 10th placers in our Milk Tea Sister National Selection event. Each person will receive a cash reward of 100,000 yuan. All the beauties who have won the award, please come to the stage to receive your award. This time, the quality of the girls who took the stage to receive the award was obviously higher than those of the girls just now. Regardless of their figure, appearance, or temperament, they are almost flawless in beauty. All of them are super beauties at the level of true school belles. Off stage. As the 6th winner, Chu Yanyan naturally had to go on stage to receive the award. Seeing that Chu Yanyan remained motionless, Zhang Xiaolan and Sun Junjun who were following her became anxious. Yanyan, come up quickly, everyone else is coming on stage one after another. Yes, Yanyan, it's time now. Stop being so petty. Cousins Haijin and Li Yuan are both looking at you. Chu Yanyan glanced at Xia's Haijin, who was looking at her expectantly, and whispered proudly. Humph. If it weren't for Haijin's sake, I wouldn't have gone up on stage to accept the award, and let Li Yuan, a playboy, make a fool of himself. After Chu Yanyan stood up and left, Zhang Xiaolan and Sun Junjun looked at each other and felt helpless. They've been together for so long. Everyone knows that Chu Yanyan is a very determined girl, and it is really possible for her to do something like that. Oh, Yanyan's character is really amazing. Cousins Haijin doesn't even care, she can't get angry every day. There's nothing I can do about it. As you know, Yanyan has a stubborn temper and hates scumbags the most. What's more, she's Cousins Haijin's boyfriend. Hee, Lan, tell me, wait a minute, if Li Yuan gives Yanyan an award, how will Yanyan react? This time, the host conducted the interview as before. The two girls in front said it very officially, they were fans of Xiahua and wanted to come meet their idol and join in the fun. However, when the host walked towards Chu Yanyan who looked cold, Her answer caused an instant uproar on the scene. I am not someone's fan, nor did I want to attend this event. I was secretly photographed and posted online. Chu Yanyan's cold words immediately stirred up a storm, and there was a lot of discussion on the scene. Damn, this beautiful woman's answer is really unexpected. Is she slapping the Zaiwa male god in the face in front of him? He's really very personal. Tell me quickly, who is this person? I want to know all her information now. No, who is this girl? Are you talking so arrogantly, without giving Xiahua any face? Just say that he was secretly photographed and didn't want to come. That's right, who is she? If she didn't want to attend, why didn't she tell her in advance? Why did she come to this awards show so shamelessly? Want to order your meal standing up? I really want to know, how will the Xiahua male god respond to her? This kind of girl is so shameless. Could it be that she was an undercover agent sent by another company because she was jealous of her beauty? The audience in the audience talked a lot. They were all very puzzled as to why Chu Yanyan would say such things on such occasions. Off stage, Li Yuan's expression also changed slightly, and his eyes were helpless. He could understand Chu Yanyan's mood. This was a person who was willing to commit suicide by jumping off a building because of her feelings. Her character was understandable. However, understanding is understanding. Chu Yanyan said this in this situation, she was just looking for trouble. Originally, he had a good impression of Chu Yanyan and had sympathy for her. Xia's Haijin, who was not far from Li Yuan, had a sudden change of expression after hearing her cousin Chu Yanyan say this, and stood up anxiously, and quickly signaled to Chu Yanyan with his eyes. On the stage, the host was also in a bad mood after hearing Chu Yanyan's words. I thought, if you don't want to participate, just give up your qualification. The 11th place below must be very grateful to you, and earned an extra 90,000 yuan for nothing. But in this situation, as a host, you definitely can't say this, you need to use words to round up the situation. Haha, this beauty is really born with natural beauty. She can get the good result of 6th place even if a passerby takes a photo of her casually. Okay, now please invite the award presenter to present the awards to our beauties on the spot. As soon as the host finished speaking, Li Yuan directly urged Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and Xia's Haijin to go on stage to present the awards. Xiao Yu, Xiao Bai, Haijin, you three will represent the company to present the awards. Zhong Tingyu smiled brightly. She saw that Li Yuan looked a little uncomfortable, and she knew why. It must be because of what Xia's Haijin's cousin said that made her a little unhappy. However, the stage where the three of them went on stage to present the awards was originally planned before, but it was just moved to this moment. Zhong Tingyu stood up first and waved to Bai Wuxi and Xia's Haijin, who looked a little nervous. Wei 11, Jin, let's go on stage. Oh, okay. Yes. The two girls answered in unison, and followed Zhong Tingyu on stage with a somewhat restrained look. On the stage, the host has begun to introduce. Let's welcome with applause, President Zhong, President Bai, President Xia, present the awards to our winners. Chu Yanyan stared blankly at her cousin Xia Jin, who came to her with a gorgeous medal. Chu Yanyan asked with a complicated look, Jin, why are you presenting the award? Xia Jin looked a little nervous, and answered in a low voice, this is the plan. When Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wei 11, and Xia Jin, three super beauties with fairy-like looks, went on stage to present the awards, the entire awards ceremony began to boil instantly. These three girls are really super beautiful, I feel they are even more beautiful than the top three, why didn't they participate in the selection? Haha, you are surprised, who are these three, haven't you heard of them? They are the girlfriends of Xiahua, and the bosses of Chayan Use. How could they possibly attend an event held by their own company? It turns out that the three of them are the girlfriends of Xiahua. No wonder I heard before that Xiahua had several girlfriends at the same time. It turns out to be true when I saw them today, they were indeed very, very beautiful, like fairies from heaven, only they are worthy of Xiahua. Speaking of which, the thing I admire most about Xiahua is how he convinced these beautiful girlfriends to accept each other. Tisk tisk, I heard that Xiahua is very strong during military training. He did nearly 500 push-ups in one breath and beat the military training instructor. I feel that it is not appropriate to describe it as convinced. It may be more appropriate to describe it as sleeping clothes. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ryu Xiahua. Chapter 472. In the audience, even Ma Tengfei, Executive Vice President of Daxia University, felt strange when seeing this scene. I secretly admire Li Yuan in my heart. He didn't care whether Li Yuan's behavior would violate social order and good customs. First, Li Yuan is not married and is only a freshman, so there is no illegal problem. Second, this situation is actually common in society as a whole, but it is not as famous as Li Yuan. Third, even if Li Yuan really had 3 girlfriends, who can have any evidence? On the stage, the awards ceremony continued. The 4th to 10th place will each receive a bonus of 100,000 yuan, which is naturally not cash. Dear friends, the rewards for the 4th to 10th place will also be distributed on the spot. When they received the award, our Chaoyan USE Finance Department had already transferred the cash award of 100,000 yuan to their bank accounts through electronic transfer. The host looked at a beautiful woman and said with a smile, "Beauty, I see you have a mobile phone with you. Can you show it to everyone on the spot?" This girl, a campus beauty from Hangcheng University, generously showed everyone the bank text message reminder she received on her mobile phone. After the awards for the 4th to 10th place were over, the much anticipated highlight came. The host's voice also became high-pitched and passionate. Next, please invite the top 3 winners of the Milk Tea Sister National Selection event organized by Chaoyan USE Catering Company, Lu Shishi, Jin Chen Chen, and Dilraba, to come on stage to receive their awards. Chapter 271 Li Yuan's first solo concert. As many beauties in this national audition of Milk Tea Sister /. The ones who get the most attention are undoubtedly the winners of the championship, runner-up, and third runner-up in this selection event. When 3 girls, Lu Shishi, Jin Chen Chen and Dilraba, all dressed in fancy dresses and exquisite makeup, stepped on the stage together, they immediately aroused exclamations from the audience. Lu Jie looked at the 3 looming Xiongdakshan on the stage with their long legs and snow-white necks exposed. He couldn't take his eyes away. His heartbeat was inexplicably accelerating, and he joked with emotion. Tisk, tisk, these top 3 give people a different feeling, like female celebrities walking on the red carpet. Also, this one named Reba, she looks like a mixed race, she is really beautiful. Ren Jun smiled and said, the quality of the Milk Tea Sisters selection organized by Brother Yuan is indeed very high. I feel that the top 10 and even the top 100 are all about the same appearance. No matter which one, they are all school beauties. I can't even imagine how happy I would be if I could have a girlfriend like this. Lu Jie laughed and teased, Brother Jun, you are too timid. You don't even dare to think about it? I am different. I dare to think about playing poker with several people. Suzuki-young winked at a few people and joked, speaking of which, there are so many beautiful girls appearing in this selection event. Do you think Brother Yuan will make some unspoken rules? Lu Jie smiled evilly, that's not certain, maybe Brother Yuan also wants to try it. That's right, Brother Yuan is not such an affectionate person. Ren Jun smiled and looked at Li Yuan and the 3 girls Zhong, Xia and Bai sitting in the first row with envious eyes. He couldn't understand the fact that he could have such 3 beautiful girlfriends and still look very harmonious. Suzuki-young looked at the 2 girls not far away and murmured curiously, brothers, tell me why our counselor has also come to the scene. Lu Jie and others were also puzzled, I don't know. Brother Yuan and the counselor must not be familiar with each other, right? He hasn't even attended a few classes. Renjun smiled mysteriously and said meaningfully, "Hey, that's not necessarily the case. Our counselor is at the level of a goddess in terms of figure, appearance, and talent. I took the music class taught by the counselor. Every time I took the class, the lecture theater with 1 to 200 people was full. I was very popular in the school. They all said that the counselor was the most beautiful counselor in our school." Lu Jie nodded. "A cool goddess-like teacher, she must have countless suitors. She must have very high standards. I wonder if she has a boyfriend." On stage, the host focused on interviewing the top 3 winners and asked many various questions. "Reba, I saw your information. You are a freshman at the Shanghai Academy of Drama this year." According to the previous program arrangement, the host looked at the tall and beautiful girl in front of him and asked with a smile. "There are so many fans at the venue and in front of the TV. I wonder if you can bring some talent performances to everyone. This link is also communicated in advance. If the top 3 winners of Milk Tea Sister are willing, they can perform personal talent performances at this awards night, such as singing, dancing, playing the piano, painting, etc. Of course, there is no need to perform a personal performance. As a freshman at the Shanghai Academy of Drama, Dili Reba, who is her professional counterpart, will naturally not refuse this offer as she plans to enter the entertainment industry in the future." Dili Reba took the microphone and readily agreed, "I am from China's Zhejiang province, so let me perform the folk dance of our Zhejiang province for everyone." After saying that, Dili Reba came to the center of the stage a little nervously, preparing to perform a folk dance. The host started to liven up the atmosphere. "Dear audience friends, let us give Reba a little encouragement with warm applause." Amid thunderous applause, Dili Reba danced the folk dance of Zhejiang province like an elf. Wow! 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 She danced so beautifully, and she was full of exotic feelings. She was indeed a beauty from Zhejiang province. With this kind of appearance, this kind of figure, and this kind of dancing posture, I had a hunch that this beauty named Dili Reba it will definitely become popular in the future. I now understand a little bit why my charming ancestor must open up the western region. It turns out it was not for the raisins in Zhejiang province. His merits are truly eternal. Zogong is eternal and mighty. This award show is well worth it. Not only can you see so many young and beautiful girls, but you can also see so many wonderful performances. The first row under the stage. Li Yuan also looked at Dili Reba, who was performing dance on the stage, with admiration. He felt very interesting. As a well-known female star in later generations, Dili Reba's appearance and dancing are undoubtedly online, and she is very capable. Especially at this moment, although he is only 17 years old, this kind of youthful and sexy dance is undoubtedly more exciting. Even after his rebirth, he still feels amazing after seeing so many beauties. Zhong Tingyu on the side watched Li Yuan staring at the stage intently from the corner of her eye. She glanced at her mouth secretly. A sense of crisis suddenly arose in her heart, and she muttered to herself, "Humph, you stinky senior, are you getting lusty again?" On stage, Dili Reba ended the dance performance amidst the cheers of the audience, leaving all the audience eye-opening and unsatisfied. "Thank you, Reba, for bringing us the folk dance of Zhejiang province. She danced very well. I hope Reba can become a big star in the future." After the third runner-up's interview and performance, it was the turn of the runner-up Jin Chen. As an artist who has just debuted, Jin Chen's appearance and figure are also top-notch. Today she wore a Chinese-style cheongsam, with an S-shaped curve that was convex in the front and curved in the back, showing off her perfect figure to the fullest. The host looked at Jin Chen's resume and smiled. "Chen, you are a student of the Imperial Capital Dance Academy. You have traveled thousands of miles from the Imperial Capital to the Magic Capital. Can you tell the audience what you thought when you participated in the Milk Tea Sisters selection event?" Jin Chen smiled lightly. with two small dimples showing on his white face. I studied dance in Shanghai when I was a child. Last year, I was admitted to the Royal Dance Academy and learned folk dance. Because I like listening to music, I have been paying attention to some new songs in the Chinese music scene. Later, I heard Xiahua Dada songs such as Su Yan and Confession Balloon, and then I became a fan of Xiahua Dada. When I learned about the Milk Tea Sisters selection event held by Xiahua Dada, I heard that you can go to Xiahuada's concert on site and then sign up to try it out. Thank you to all my friends across the country for supporting me, thank you all. When the host heard Jin Chenchen's words, she smiled meaningfully. It can be seen from her answer that she is also a girl with high emotional intelligence. Chen Chen, there are 2,000 to 3,000 viewers at the scene today, and millions of people are live broadcasting online. Watching this scene, I wonder what kind of talent show you will bring to everyone today. Jin Chen Chen glanced at Li Yuan in the audience with her beautiful eyes, smiled shyly, and held up the microphone with a look of anticipation in her eyes. I am a big fan of Xiahua Dada. I wonder if I will be lucky enough to sing Su Yan with Xiahua Dada. Li Yuan in the audience was stunned when he heard Jin Chenchen's request. It's over, is this coming for me again? After Jin Chen finished speaking, the host looked at Jin Chen with a slightly surprised expression. He did not expect that she would be so bold. At this time, the host could only bite the bullet, turned his attention to Li Yuan, and asked tentatively. Ahem, Mr. Li, would you like to sing No Makeup with your fans? As soon as the host finished speaking, there were waves of booing in the audience. Xiahuada, come on stage quickly, we want to listen to Su Yan. This girl is a bit brave. Will the summer flower male god be unable to come to the stage, or are these all planned in advance? I should have said hello in advance, otherwise it would be too abrupt. Don't discuss this, I can't wait to hear Xiahua male god sing, let's shout loudly together, Suyan Suyan Suyan. In the uniform cheers of the audience. Li Yuan felt a little helpless. This link was really not rehearsed in advance. He had naturally seen the program list. At that time, after soliciting the opinions of the top 3 winners, Jin Chenchen's talent show was a solo performance. The song to be sung is not Su Yan, but another song, Confession Balloon. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 473. He himself was not prepared to sing without makeup at today's award show, which is obviously suitable for male and female couples to sing duet. Before Li Yuan could move, Zhong Tingyu beside him was already staring at Li Yuan with half-smiling eyes, jokingly urging Li Yuan to come on stage. Senior, if you don't come on stage, people will almost cry in grievance. Listening to Zhong Tingyu's joke, Li Yuan smiled and looked up at Jin Chenchen's expression. As Zhong Tingyu said, he was so nervous that he almost cried. In the audience's shouts of summer flowers and no makeup. In the end, Li Yuan chose to appear on stage with a smile. Anyway, he will be on stage sooner or later, so there is no need to refute Jin Chenchen's face at this time. It was not easy for people to come all the way from the imperial capital. Seeing that Li Yuan was willing to go on stage, Jin Chenchen's expression suddenly changed from nervous and worried to relaxed. He quietly patted his chest and breathed a deep sigh of relief. Jin Chen took the initiative to approach Li Yuan and smiled at Li Yuan sheepishly, looking like a little fangirl. Xiahuada, thank you. I'm a big fan of yours and I love all your songs. Li Yuan smiled, that's really an honor. After speaking, he raised the microphone and said hello to the band behind him. Please prepare some music for the band. In the past few days, he has been training with the band for tonight's first solo concert, and has tried various songs, including one of the most well-known songs, No Makeup. As the background music plays, Li Yuan took the microphone, glanced at Jin Chen Chen who looked shy, and hummed softly. Another quiet night. A person is nestled in a rocking chair to enjoy the coolness. Different from the last time he sang with Xiao Yu at Jaida's welcome party. At that time, Li Yuan was not very famous and many people didn't know him. This song without makeup was also the first time that he appeared in front of everyone. And at this moment, Li Yuan is now in the stage of big success and is extremely famous. After more than 3 months of fermentation, Su Yan has become the top 3 hit songs nationwide and has long been familiar to many fans at the scene. As Li Yuan spoke, many fans in the audience couldn't help waving their light sticks and singing loudly along with Li Yuan. The atmosphere at the scene instantly changed from an awards show to a concert atmosphere. I admit that this is really peaceful. Same as the grandpa downstairs, yeah. When Jin Chen Chen started singing the girls' part, all the girls in the audience, except for the 3 real girlfriends Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and Xia's Haijin sitting in the first row, other girls including Qi Siyu and Liang Jingjing also all sang along. Jin Chen Chen's slightly soft voice was almost instantly covered by the female voices in the audience. I heard that you are still doing some original work. It seems like this is what it is all about. Li Yuan felt very interesting listening to the uniform chorus of girls in the audience, and his emotions were heightened by the atmosphere of the scene, and he felt excited. Those years when performances without any involvement were spectacular. The disappearing bare face. After singing the song, the audience applauded for a long time. Jin Chen Chen looked directly at Li Yuan with an adoring and shy expression, not paying any attention to the comments of the audience. Li Yuan felt a little numb under Jin Chen Chen's gaze. He coughed quickly and motioned to the host to quickly start interviewing the next person. Compared with Jin Chen Chen and Dili Riba, Lu Shishi is a few years older and much more mature. She has been in the entertainment industry for many years. Although she has not become famous yet, she is still somewhat famous. Otherwise, she would definitely not be able to win the championship based solely on her looks. Even during interviews, he looked dignified and decent. Not only was she grateful for the platform of Milk Tea Sister, but she was also a fan of Li Yuan. She even showed off her talents by playing a piano piece, which fully reflected her gentle and elegant demeanor. This championship winner named Lu Shishi is still a little star. He is very stable, very beautiful, and very talented. He may become a big star in the future. That's true, but the feeling she gives me is not as good as that of Diliba and Jin Chen Chen. She always has a cold feeling that she doesn't want to be near strangers. Ha ha ha, everyone's aesthetics are different. I really like Lu Shishi's cool goddess style. By the way, after the Milk Tea Sisters have finished selecting the top 3 and awarding awards, will it be the turn of Xiaohua's solo concert? Well, I saw the program list is like this. I am really looking forward to it. I have prepared my voice and sang along loudly. On the stage, soon it was the award ceremony's turn. Now, let us invite the award-giving guests, Ma Tengfei, Deputy Secretary of the Party Committee and Executive Vice President of Daxia University, Wu Wenhui, Chairman of Yuandian Chinese Network, and Yu Wengxuan, Vice President of Wanji Technology Company, to select the champion and runner-up for our Milk Tea Sister. The third runner-up winner is awarded. Dear friends present and netizens in front of the TV, this Milk Tea Sister award event has ended. Now, the awards show is the most exciting. It is also the moment that fans are most looking forward to. Let's welcome Mr. Li with the warmest applause for his first solo concert. As the host finished speaking, the cheers and shouts at the scene immediately reached their peak. Xiahua! 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 The uniform voices could be heard throughout the Longjia building. Outside the Longjia Hotel, in front of the Longjia Building Square, and in all 40 Chayan USE milk tea shops in Shanghai, fans were already crowded, cheering, and waiting for Li Yuan to start singing. In the Milk Tea Moonlight Longjia main store, several female shop assistants were whispering privately. Tisk tisk, our boss is so charming that he attracts all these young and beautiful girls. Of course, our boss is tall, handsome, rich, and talented, so he must be attractive to girls. Hee, I think you forgot to mention one thing, our boss is so passionate, maybe we can have a beautiful encounter, right? Yeah, everyone understands, and they know it well. Just like the runner-up Jin Chen Chen, the look in the boss's eyes almost made her feel like she was about to be drawn. I can guarantee that as long as the boss hooks his hand at her tonight, she will definitely be willing to take the initiative to throw herself into his arms. You say, the boss is so handsome, so rich, and so healthy, if he wants to have a hidden rule, will these girls refuse? On the stage. After singing a song Nuyen with Jin Chen Chen before, Li Yuan was not very nervous and found the feeling of the stage. It's strange that in his previous life, although he was not taciturn and autistic, he was not eloquent either. Even standing on the stage to give speeches and lectures, there are very few. When I first started working in the system, I faced dozens of town and village cotters and gave 2 micro-party classes. Even then, I was a little trembling and very nervous when speaking. But now, after being reborn, even if I stand on the stage with thousands of people, being broadcast live on TV and the internet, and millions of people watching at the same time, I don't feel nervous or afraid at all. Perhaps this is because I have confidence and am fearless. All kinds of thoughts flashed through my mind. Li Yuan calmed down, took the microphone, looked at the audience below, and smiled. Before that, I want to tell you about my songwriter experience. Before I went to college, when I just started writing books, I met a girl who was very important to me. She chatted with me every day and supported my creation. She was the first die-hard fan of my novel Battle Starry Sky. Just like netizens, we had endless topics to talk about every day. Until I just started college, she suddenly appeared in front of me. She asked me to write a song for her. She was going to perform at her school's welcome party, and I agreed to her. Before, I didn't know much about music, tunes, and composing music. I couldn't even play the guitar. I hummed completely based on my own feelings. It was this girl who taught me how to recognize music scores and instruments. I haven't seen her for a long time, as if she has disappeared from my world. I don't know if you still remember me, or if you are in some strange city, silently watching me. Now, I want to sing to you again with the first song I wrote. Chapter 272, a concert full of classics that will be remembered. At this moment, thousands of miles away at Imperial Capital Normal University. In a girl's dormitory. A girl wearing headphones, sitting in front of a laptop, her eyes red, looking at the concert played in the video with tears in her eyes. The man she missed day and night was playing and singing her favorite song. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 474. Listening to the sound coming from the headphones, Zhang Ziyu unknowingly began to hum along with her, and her mind was once again filled with memories. My dear, I fell in love with you from that day on. Sweet and easy. If you own me, you will own the world. My dear, don't let your eyes wander. Saying I do. In the video, Li Yuan held back tears and looked affectionately at the camera used for the live broadcast. He seemed to be looking at a girl outside the video and spoke in a low voice. This song Confession Balloon is given to everyone, and also to you in the distance. I hope that everything is well with you. When Zhang Ziyu heard the last words spoken by Li Yuan, his eyes seemed to have opened a valve, and he could no longer control them, sliding down his flawless face. Brother Xiahua, Zhang Ziyu hugged his head and lay on the computer table, crying and muttering to himself. At this moment, her heart hurt, very painful. Magic City, stage scene. When Li Yuan finished singing the first song Confession Balloon affectionately, Li Zixia, who was sitting next to Xia's Haijin, asked in a low voice. Sisters Hyjin, have you seen the girl my brother mentioned? Xia's Hyjin shook her head slightly, staring at Li Yuan on the stage with a very complicated expression. Oh, Li Zixia exclaimed. She was already in her first year of high school and already had her own understanding of the relationship between men and women. It was obvious that her scumbag brother was still thinking about her mysterious sister-in-law whose name she only heard but never met. She secretly glanced at the other three sisters-in-law beside her with different expressions. Zhong Tingyu still had a calm smile on the outside, but her body was straight and her eyes were fixed on Li Yuan on the stage. She didn't look calm inside. Bai Wuxi looked a little confused, but also seemed to be thoughtful. Xia's Hyjin, who was sitting next to her, also felt distracted. Li Zixia felt helpless, feeling angry at her brother and feeling sorry for her three sisters-in-law. Hey, stinky brother, it would be perfect if you could only like one person. On the stage, after Li Yuan said these words, he had already expected that the girls Zhong Tingyu, Xia's Hyjin, and Bai Wuxi would feel uncomfortable. However, he still wanted to say it. Not to prove anything, just to follow my heart. Since his rebirth, the person he felt most indebted to was Zhang Ziyu. Apart from writing a few songs for her, I didn't do anything for her, not even a small gift. Even his first sports car was given to him by the other party. Li Yuan listened to the whispers in the audience. After cheering up, he hugged the guitar and spoke softly. Next, I bring you a song Nan Shan Nan. This song was also written for a certain girl to commemorate a dream she once had. I hope you all like it. Off the stage, when Zhong Tingyu heard Li Yuan's second song, which was Nanshan Nan written for herself, the boredom in her heart suddenly disappeared without a trace. He listened attentively to the song that Li Yuan wrote specifically for himself. You are in the bright sunshine in the south, with heavy snow falling. I am in the cold night in the north, and the four seasons are like spring. Kyoji can never finish a dream in his life. Awakening from a big dream, a life of absurdity. Southern mountains and south, the northern autumn is sad and the south wind whispers, and the cup of wine is sad there are tombstones in the North Sea. This song was the first time Li Yuan sang it in public, and only a few people including Zhong Tingyu, Su Tingro, Ding Shanshan, and Bai Wuxi knew it. Therefore, when Li Yuan sang this song, many spectators at the scene and outside were very surprised and talked about it. Is this song Nan Shan Nan a new song written by Xia Hua? Why does it sound a little sad? A picture can't help but emerge in my mind, the sad feeling that two people who love each other are separated from each other for some reason and cannot be together. I don't understand it either, but it sounds nice. It reminds me of my first love after graduating from college. He went to work in the Imperial City, while I chose to stay in the Magic City. One is in the south and the other is in the north. If there is no such thing in this life, surprisingly, we may never see each other again. I feel like, next, the Xiahua male god will sing several new songs that we haven't heard before. It's a blessing today. He, the summer flower goddess will sing all the songs he has ever written again on this stage. Right, now that you have sung Su Yan, Confession Balloon and Nan Shan Nan, what is the next song? Will it be Just Met You? Indeed, as some fans expected, Li Yuan really planned to sing all the songs he had written for several girls since his rebirth. He has already made a plan in his mind. After the Milk Tea Sister Award show, there will be no more concerts within a year. A year later, Glory of the King has been launched, plus Tea Beauty and Moonlight, which has expanded to all parts of the country, and Zhu.com, as well as recent investments in fruits, mutai stocks, and real estate investments. At that time, his net worth was at least billions, or even tens of billions. It can be said that it has become the capital behind the scenes. Whatever you do at that time depends entirely on your personal interests and hobbies. After gaining real wealth and freedom, he will completely realize the true meaning of lying down. You can take Zhong Tingyu and Xia's Hyjin with them to enjoy life, have more children, and fulfill your parents' wish to continue the family line. This life is enough. As for his higher aspirations and making greater contributions, he may make some angel investments, such as in industries such as smartphones and new energy vehicles. But Li Yuan didn't think he had the talent and ability to do it himself. According to the historical development trend, these high-tech industries will inevitably rise with the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. This awards show has a high probability to be his first concert and also his last. Li Yuan looked at the audience in the audience, glanced at Xia's Haijin from the corner of his eye, smiled slightly and said, "The song below is a bit sweet. Couples at the scene should listen carefully and sing it to the people you love the most. I am very lucky to meet you again in this life, and I am also very lucky to be able to bring you happiness. This song Little Lucky is dedicated to you here. I hope you all like it." Xia's Haijin in the audience. After hearing that Li Yuan was going to sing Little Lucky written for him, he immediately tensed up and stared at Li Yuan on the stage, listening carefully. Singing this song Little Lucky has a completely different feeling and artistic conception than singing Nan Shan Nan just now. If Nan Shan Nan is a funeral song of love, then this song Little Lucky is purely a sweet song. Li Yuan moistened his throat and hummed in a soft voice against the background of the light music played by the band. I heard raindrops falling on the green grass. I heard the school bell ringing in the distance. It turns out that you are the luck I want to keep most. The decision to fight the world for me. Then accompany me in the rain. Oh, how lucky I am. In the VIP table, Gao Xian and Li Lanrong stared, listening to the song Little Lucky sung by Li Yuan, and discussing in a low voice. Gao Xian asked curiously, "Have you noticed that Li Yuan was staring at Haijin when he sang this song? Does this mean that Li Yuan wrote this song specifically for Haijin?" Li Lanrong nodded, "That's right. The two songs Plain Makeup and Confession Balloon sung by Li Yuan were obviously written to the girl from Jida. The previous song Nanshan Nan was written to Zhong Zhong from the Finance Academy." Tingyus. Ge Chen Chen joked, "Li Yuan is really interesting. She has written songs for several of her girlfriends, and they are all different. In today's concert, will she sing all the songs she wrote for her girlfriends, once again?" Gao Xian pursed his lips and chuckled, "I think it's most likely yes. Let's wait and see what the next song is. Although Li Yuan is an out-and-out scumbag, these songs are really pretty. If nothing else happens, tonight's concert will definitely be mentioned again and again, and the live concert video will also be watched by many fans of Li Yuan." After singing Little Lucky written for Xia's Haijin, Li Yuan listened to the noisy discussion of the audience, smiled slightly, and did not continue singing immediately, but chatted for a while and took a breath. Because some songs, like Little Lucky, are written for girls, so girls may sing them better. The song I want to bring to you below is also a song written for a certain girl in the audience. This song is called White Moonlight and Cinnabar Mole. I hope you all like it. After hearing Li Yuan sing the song he wrote for himself, Bai Wuxi's previously tense mood completely relaxed. Li Yuan is still the same Li Yuan he used to be. He treats them all the same. A bowl of water is balanced and there is no particularly obvious tendency. After singing White Moonlight and Cinnabar Mole, Li Yuan continued to sing The Rest of My Life, Just Once, and He Bridge, Just Met You and many other classic songs he had written for several girlfriends before. Listening to so many new songs that they heard for the first time, the fans at the venue and in front of the internet went completely crazy. Not only were they talking in person, but all kinds of comments on the online live broadcast screen were also quickly filling up the screen. My God, what day is it today? The male god Zaiwa sang so many songs in one go. Each song is a classic among classics. Each song is popular and has a different style. I'm going to be drunk. Summer flower male god, I love you so much. How did Xiaohua's big brain come into being? How long has it been since he wrote so many songs? Even the music of all the songs was written by himself compared with the Xiahua male god, Ji Lun is nothing, only the Xiahua male god is the #1 musical talent in the Chinese music world. I have a hunch that after tonight, the legend of the summer flower goddess will be spread throughout the world, and his songs will quickly become popular on the internet and occupy the top 10 of major music charts. I just did the math, and the summer flower male god has already sung Essence of Makeup, Confession Balloon, Nan Shan Nan, Little Lucky, White Moonlight and Cinnabar Mole. The Rest of My Life, Just Met You and He Bridge Just Once has a total of 9 songs, and I feel that each one is a classic song that has become a hit on the internet. This concert tonight will definitely be recorded in the history of the Chinese music scene. Do you know what makes me admire Xiahua male god the most? It is his comprehensive style, whether it is Little Lucky, Confession Balloon and No Makeup that represent sweet love, or the very deep Nanshan Nan and He Bridge, or the fresh White Moonlight and Cinnabar Mole. Wait, it's a completely different style, but it can be sung easily by the same person. Or he writes his own lyrics, composes his own music, and sings his own songs. Oh my God, why are there such talented men in the world? If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 475. I can confirm now that Xiahua is undoubtedly the most talented god-level singer in the Chinese music world. All kings and queens have to stand in the back row in front of Xiahua. Off stage. In the second row of the VIP seats, Qi Siyu and Liang Jingjing sat together, enjoying the songs performed live by Li Yuan. Liang Jingjing glanced at Qi Siyu, who was staring intently, then leaned into her ear and joked. Siyu, when this song The Rest of My Life is finished, will Li Yuan sing the song Relationship with the Gentle Universe written for you? Qi Siyu's mind was constantly echoing Li Yuan's voice, for the rest of my life, I will be ordinary. When she heard her best friend's question, her expression suddenly froze, she was confused for a moment, and then she became more hopeful. But, would Li Yuan really sing the song he wrote for himself on such an occasion? She loved that song so much, and she also loved Li Yuan so much. But can I really appear beside Li Yuan openly like the 3 girls in the first row? Qi Siyu doesn't know. I don't know. Qi Siyu's slightly evasive gaze and lack of confidence in her answer made Liang Jingjing curl her lips involuntarily. Siyu, just wait and see. I think Li Yuan will definitely sing the song he wrote for you after a while. Qi Siyu did not answer. A pair of clear, sexy, and slightly blurred eyes looked at Li Yuan on the stage with deep affection. At this moment, Li Yuan on the stage was so dazzling and brilliant, as if he was the center of the universe, and the eyes of the world were rotating around him. For the rest of my life, the wind and snow will be you, the plainness will be you, and the poverty will be you. I want to take you to see the clear sky, and I want to tell you loudly that I am fascinated by you. The gentleness in my heart is you, and the side of me is also you. After Li Yuan finished singing The Rest of Life, he stopped singing. His voice was almost smoking. He sang 8 songs in a row. The intro and gaps between each song together took an hour. Li Yuan took the microphone, looked at the crazy fans at the scene, and shouted loudly. Dear fans, are you happy to hear this? In the audience, Lucia, Wu Hao, Suji, Wang Shui, Ding Shan Shan, Wang Lisa, etc. immediately took the lead and shouted in response. Happy. Happy. The chorus of shouts from the 2,000 to 3,000 spectators in the audience was like a stormy sea, resounding through the sky and deafening. Li Yuan raised the microphone again, pointed it at the audience, and shouted loudly, then do you still want to hear it? Want to hear? Want to hear? Li Yuan smiled and joked, I was a little tired from singing just now, please let me take a breather. The scene immediately erupted into roaring laughter. At this moment, Li Yuan seemed to have just walked from the unattainable world of gods to the mortal world. After a while, Li Yuan felt that his voice was much better. He picked up the phone and spoke calmly. Next, let me bring you the last song of today's awards show. A total of 10 songs were sung tonight. I hope everyone at the scene and in front of the TV will have a perfect life. Each of us is a very ordinary person from birth, from kindergarten, to elementary school, to junior high school, to university, to entering society, to getting married and having children. I hope everyone present can turn ordinary life into extraordinary. This song The Ordinary Road is given to everyone. I hope you like it. This song was his favorite song in his previous life, bar none. It is also a song that must be ordered every time I go to KTV. Especially after graduation and after experiencing the severe beatings from society, every time I listen to it again and every time I sing it, sometimes I can't help but shed tears because of my feelings. Perhaps this is because the song The Ordinary Road represents the portrayal of the ordinary life of most ordinary men. There is the glory and pride of the past, as well as the thorny road full of scars, until the unwillingness and silence after realizing that I am ordinary. As Li Yuan's words fell, a burst of melodious and deep background music sounded, and the entire award show scene instantly became silent. Some people are waving light sticks, some are taking photos with their mobile phones, and some are listening. Li Yuan hugged the guitar and calmed down. His eyes became deeper. In my mind, I can't help but recall every bit of my previous life and my experiences in this life. In his previous life, although he could not be said to be miserable, his life was dull and ordinary, full of unwillingness and resentment. It was the roar of an ordinary man who was unwilling and incompetent. And in this life, along the way, I have been blessed with the right time, right place, right people, and the right people, and I have become the most dazzling and popular person among my peers in China. The experiences of 2 lifetimes can be described as worlds apart. It can be said that 2 lives are like 2 horizontal lines that will never intersect. In the expectant eyes of the entire audience, Li Yuan played the guitar, entered the state in a second, and spoke in a low voice. Wandering, on the road. Do you want to leave? Via via. Fragile, proud. Enigmatically silent. Are you really listening to the story? I have crossed mountains and seas. Also passed through the sea of people. Everything I ever had. In the blink of an eye, it all dispersed like smoke. I have been disappointed and lost all direction. Until you see ordinary is the only answer. As Li Yuan's melodious and deep singing sounded at the scene and in everyone's ears, it was like a flash of lightning in the darkness, instantly tearing through the dark sky and ushering in the storm. That kind of low and penetrating voice makes some people with life experience. For example, Ma Tengfei, the executive vice president of Daxia University, Wu Wenhui of Yuandian Chinese Network, and the vice president of Wanji Company were all shocked. If we say that most of the songs Li Yuan sang before were about the love between young men and women, then these grown men did not feel deeply about it. When the song The Ordinary Road played, their views on Li Yuan suddenly changed 180 degrees. From Li Yuan singing, they heard unwillingness, roar, glory, and ordinariness. Just like their own lives, who can go all the way to success without experiencing any setbacks. This little guy's song really touched my heart. Ma Tengfei muttered to himself, looking at Li Yuan on the stage, his eyes changed from appreciation to respect. To be able to sing this kind of song with such depth and devotion, one can imagine how powerful Li Yuan's inner strength must be. With such powerful spiritual power, future achievements are simply unlimited. Others may not understand it deeply. But there were 3 girls at the scene who could personally feel the emotion Li Yuan put into singing this song. Zhong Tingyu looked at Li Yuan's sincere devotion on the stage, and at some point, there were crystal tears in the corners of his eyes. Before, she had always been dubious about what Li Yuan said about her previous life. But now, looking at Li Yuan's sincere devotion, she seemed to see how struggling and unwilling Li Yuan's life was in her previous life. Senior, Zhong Tingyu murmured to herself with her eyes flashing, staring closely at Li Yuan, who was deeply engaged on the stage, as if he was isolated from the world. Zhong Tingyu thinks this way, and Bai Wuxi, who has known Li Yuan longer and knows more about the truth, is even more so. Bai Wuxi stared at Li Yuan, and in her mind were all the situations that Li Yuan had told her about her previous life. It's so real. Really, it's like looking at the life of another Li Yuan. Brother, Bai Wuxi murmured to herself. At this moment, she really wanted to rush to the stage and give Li Yuan a deep hug. On the internet, many fans and book lovers waiting in front of the TV immediately expressed their emotions after hearing the song sung by Li Yuan. Stephen Fenfang, as a boy who has been working for several years, after listening to Xia Huida's song The Ordinary Road, I feel like I have seen my own life. The arrogance of youth, the huge expectations when starting a business, and the failure after failure. The helplessness, the light after passing through the darkness. This song is really good. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 476. Tianshan Swordsman. I always thought that Xiahua, at this age, would only write love songs between men and women. I didn't expect that he would sing such a deep and emotional song, which was completely beyond my expectation. I am sure that this song will become the most popular song in 2009. Lazy Sheep's younger brother, the first in 2009, is beyond doubt. Even in the history of the entire Chinese music scene, it will definitely be counted. If you don't believe it, let's wait and see. Falling leaves rise with the wind, sad people alone. It's a pity that I couldn't get a ticket for this concert. I don't know when Xiahua will hold a concert next time. Fen Nian. This song will become Xiahua's true masterpiece and will establish Xiahua's historical position in the Chinese music scene. In my opinion, with these 10 songs today, each of which is a classic, Xiahua is no weaker than anyone in the Chinese music scene. On the stage, Li Yuan continued to sing affectionately, just like he sang in KTV in his previous life. Hysterical, true love. I once destroyed everything I had. I just wanted to leave forever. I once fell into endless darkness. I wanted to struggle and couldn't extricate myself. I used to be like you, like him, like the wild grass and wild flowers. Desperate, but also eager. In the dark, this is the only way I have to go. Time is speechless like this. Tomorrow is already here. The road blown by the wind is still far away. Where is your story? Writing and writing, a little emo. It is said that life is as bright as summer flowers, but in the end, it still returns to the ordinary road. Chapter 273. Li Yuan's business methods, King of Glory, will be tested internally soon. Although the fans at the scene heard this song Ordinary Road for the first time and were not familiar with the lyrics and rhythm, but there are still many fans humming along, and the atmosphere was instantly ignited, just like a real concert. When the song has an end. When Li Yuan finished his last performance, there were still many fans at the scene who were screaming loudly with tears in their eyes, as if they had completed a spiritual resonance with this song Ordinary Road, and used screaming to vent the anger in their hearts. Li Yuan stood on the stage with a slightly sad look, stretched out one hand, raised the microphone, pointed one end of the microphone at the audience, and quietly stared at the thousands of fans in the audience, who were singing the climax of the chorus in unison. I have crossed mountains and seas. Also passed through the crowds of people. I have asked the whole world. Never got an answer. The whole process lasted for a few more minutes, and the singing at the scene still showed no sign of weakening. Even in the square outside the award ceremony and in 40 stores, many fans gathered, singing in unison without any organization. After a long time, Li Yuan raised the microphone, and his slightly low voice rang in the ears of the audience at the scene and in front of the TV. Each of us is an ordinary person. Perhaps, the road we will take is also an ordinary road. Life is as gorgeous as summer flowers, and death is as quiet and beautiful as autumn leaves. I hope that everyone can live a different wonderful life in ordinary life, cherish the people in front of you, cherish the life in front of you, and don't let your future self regret it. Tonight's concert ends here, thank you everyone. As soon as Li Yuan finished speaking, several award-winning milk tea sisters in the front row of the milk tea sisters seat area suddenly stood up excitedly and asked loudly, "Xiahua, when will the next concert be?" Li Yuan smiled and responded, "It's not yet determined, it will probably be a long time later." He was afraid that these fans would be sad, so he didn't have the nerve to tell them that this would probably be the last concert. After hearing Li Yuan's answer, many fans at the scene immediately showed a look of sadness and disappointment. One after another, fans stood up and asked questions one by one. "Xiahua, can we put the songs we sang today online?" "Xiahua, will you release an album? We all miss your album." "Xiahua, will you continue to carry out activities like Milk Tea Sister in the future? Will we still have a chance to win a prize if we buy Chayan USA milk tea in the future? Xiahua, can you sing Ordinary Road again? I want to hear it." The entire awards ceremony was like a Q/U0026 a session with reporters. Various questions were constantly raised by many crazy fans. Seeing that the atmosphere was too intense, Li Yuan picked up the microphone and coughed, signaling everyone to be quiet. "Ahem, please keep quiet. If everyone asks at the same time, I can't hear clearly. I'll randomly point to a few people to answer." Li Yuan pointed to a slightly plump girl in a JK short skirt in the fan zone. When he was singing, the girl's shouting was particularly loud. The girl in a JK short skirt blushed with excitement when she saw Li Yuan point to her. "Xiahua, I want to ask another question. Are all the 10 songs you just sang written for your girlfriends?" Li Yuan was speechless. This was obvious, but it was worth asking. How many girlfriends did he have? There were so many people at the scene, who didn't know. Li Yuan laughed and answered without comment, "Some songs are, some are not." After answering simply, Li Yuan did not give the girl a chance to continue asking questions and ordered another boy wearing glasses. "Xiahua, I am your die-hard book fan and also your die-hard fan. I would like to ask, will you continue to hold concerts in the future?" Li Yuan smiled and said, "I won't consider it for now. Let's look at it later. I'm still a student and I have to put my studies first." After Li Yuan said these words, the whole audience couldn't help but laugh. Even the executive vice president Ma Tengfei had a smile on his lips. He believes what others say, but only a fool believes what Li Yuan says. It's only been a while since the freshman year, and the last semester hasn't even ended yet. Li Yuan has skipped more classes than other college students in 4 years combined. "I am writing novels, starting a company, building a website, and writing songs." Li Yuan said that academics are the most important thing. Who believes him? At this time, another very beautiful girl stood up and asked a question that was very popular among many fans at the scene. "Xiahua, this time I bought the milk tea of your company's Chayan USA and won the first prize and got the tickets for this concert. I would like to ask if there will be more Chayan USA in the future. Do you want to continue this kind of activity?" Li Yuan glanced at the other party and thought about how to answer. According to the current development trend of tea beauty and moonlight, if you want to continue to maintain such a high-end brand value, it is obviously not enough to look at the quality of the milk tea itself. The current brand awareness of Chayan USA is still far behind that of Starbucks, KFC, and McDonald's, but it is already even better in terms of price. The reason why it sells so well is basically due to the support of fans and the brand effect brought by his reputation. The most fundamental reason why fans support so strongly is because after purchasing a certain amount of milk tea, they can participate in a points lottery. In the points lottery, you can win some exquisite gifts, as well as concert tickets like today. Thousands of thoughts suddenly appeared in Li Yuan's mind, and he had an answer to this question in his mind. This issue should be something that everyone is more concerned about. Since the establishment of the Chayan USA milk tea brand, it has developed rapidly with the support of fans from all over the country. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone for your support on this stage. Here, I promise everyone that the points lottery at the Chayan USA milk tea shop will be valid forever. The first prize will always be a ticket to a concert or an awards show. When the number of first prizes drawn reaches a certain level, I will choose a suitable time to bring a music performance to everyone. There was an immediate and enthusiastic response to Li Yuan's answer. Wow! Wow! Great, I was just thinking about when will I be able to hear Xiaohua's concert next, and now I have the answer. Sisters, we must support Xiahua Male God's milk tea more in the future and strive to win a sufficient number of first prizes as soon as possible so that Xiahua Male God can hold another concert. Tisk tisk, this method is very good. Xiaohua's male idol really has enough fans. I thought he would say that this is the last concert after all. With Xiaohua's net worth, he has already achieved financial freedom. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 477. Tickets for Xiaohua's concert are so hard to get. Even if they cost 2,000 yuan a ticket, they are gone in seconds. I wanted to buy a ticket for my best friend but I couldn't get it. Those hateful scalpers outside actually sold it for 4,000 yuan. One more and my own ticket was the first prize I won by purchasing Chayan USA milk tea. I bought about 30 cups of milk tea in total, which cost less than 1,000 yuan. I only got it after 3 times. It was really a good deal. Off stage. Wu Wenhui and Yu Wengxuan, sitting in the center of the first row of the VIP seats. After hearing Li Yuan's answer, as a businessman, I instantly understood Li Yuan's business operation model. Yu Wengxuan was amazed and sighed. Although Li Yuan is young, his mind is really not simple. He is not only a genius in music and literature, but also in business. With Li Yuan's influence, as long as this event continues, the business of his Chayan USA milk tea shop will continue to explode. The spending power of Li Yuan's fans is too strong and crazy. I heard some rumors saying that these days, the daily turnover of the Chayan USA milk tea shop is in the millions. The profit is very scary. If it is calculated based on the whole year, it is almost not weak. To some listed companies. Wu Wenhui nodded in agreement. His experience was deeper. Because of Li Yuan's influence, during the recent period, a large number of fans have poured into Yuandian Chinese website every day to support Li Yuan and give rewards to fighting stars. The spending power of these fans is very terrifying. The number of paying users of Yuandian Chinese network is growing explosively every day, and sales revenue is also growing significantly. For the book Battle of the Stars alone, on the Origin Chinese website, as well as through mobile readers and other channels, the royalties last month reached tens of millions, setting a record in the history of online literature. Li Yuan eats meat, and some other authors also get a piece of the pie. Xiahua is really a genius in all aspects, whether in music, literature, or business. If his current net worth is added up, it is likely to have reached the billion level, and the future will be unlimited. Wu Wenhui said with emotion. He has specifically studied some of Li Yuan's experiences and knows some of the things Li Yuan has done, such as developing games and investing in stocks. A college student who has just turned 18 or 19 has started from scratch in just about half a year since graduating from high school, and has reached the level he is today. This can no longer be described as legendary. It's simply an incredible miracle. Wu Wenhui remembered something and asked, Mr. Yu, how is your company's game adaptation of Battle of the Stars going? When mentioning the game Star Battle, Yu Wangsuan laughed and replied, "It has almost entered the internal testing stage. We have invested a lot of manpower, material and financial resources in this game. It won't be long before you can see the first game of Star Wars. Wu Wenhui showed a surprised look and couldn't help but take a deep look at Yu Wangsuan. This old and cunning businessman also knew how to take advantage of Li Yuan's current huge momentum. "Oh, then I'll wait and see." Wu Wenhui smiled and said, "Our Yuandian Chinese website also has many excellent works. The two of us can deepen our cooperation." Yu Wangsuan glanced at Wu Wenhui. "I thought to myself, if among the online writers in your company, there is one as famous and influential as Li Yuan, he would really be willing to spend a lot of money to buy the copyright. This can be considered." Next, Li Yuan answered a few more questions and announced that the Milk Tea Sister Award show had officially concluded successfully. That night, Li Yuan arranged a sumptuous meal at the Longjia Hotel for the special guests who came to participate in this event, as well as the milk tea girls and their entourage of about 300 people. As for the so-called unspoken rules, it's like finding some milk tea girls to accompany you to drink or sleep with you. Naturally, Li Yuan would not do anything to tarnish his reputation, and he himself had no particular preference for female celebrities. No matter how beautiful she is, can she be more beautiful than Zhong Tingyu and Xia's Haijin? If it's too much, the body really won't be able to take care of it. There is no emotional basis at all. Aren't you afraid and your head is green? In the next few days, thanks to the heated discussion and promotion of Li Yuan's many fans, all 10 songs sung by Li Yuan in this concert have been circulated and widely discussed. In particular, there are many songs that fans know for the first time. Not surprisingly, because of Li Yuan's popularity, the 10 songs he sang this time have basically occupied the top positions of major music charts. There are already many ardent fans who have hung the title of Prince of Music on Li Yuan's head, calling him the most talented singer in the Chinese music world and a rare talent in a century. Such an exaggerated name will naturally arouse dissatisfaction and refutation from other fans. But Li Yuan's fanatical fans made it very clear. If anyone can compose lyrics, compose music, and sing by himself in just 3 months, and write more than 10 songs of the same high quality, he will be admitted to be better than Li Yuan. As a result, the other party immediately became silent. In the Chinese music scene, there are many classic songs, as well as various kings and queens. But there are very few singers who can write their own lyrics, compose their own music, and sing their own songs. There are even fewer people who can write very popular classic songs. 3 days after the end of this Milk Tea Sister Award show, with the suggestions of girlfriends such as Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi, as well as the fanatical requests of fans, Li Yuan spent 5 million to register and establish a film and television entertainment company called Xianyan. Then, Li Yuan recorded these songs in a professional recording studio and published them online, quickly occupying the front pages of major music sections and forums. Time, in the blink of an eye, came to January 11th again. Today is his 19th Gregorian birthday. In the past, he had always celebrated his birthday on the lunar calendar. This time, due to special circumstances, he celebrated his birthday on the solar calendar. Because my parents and younger sister were present, this birthday could only be described as a normal one, and it was not particularly grand. I only invited Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and Xia's Haijin, as well as Wang Shui, Suji, Wang Yuchen, etc. A few high school classmates simply had a meal together in a hotel. When it was Xia's Haijin's birthday on January 13, 2009, Li Yuan gave Xia's Haijin a grand birthday. Similar to the birthday celebration for Bai Wuxi, Xia's Haijin's cousin Chu Yanyan, as well as her roommates Gao Xian, Li Lanrong, Ji Chen Chen, and others were invited. After celebrating Xia's Haijin's birthday, Li Yuan was busy with a new job. From early September 2008 to mid-January 2009, After more than 4 months of research and development, nearly 100 R/U0026D personnel were invested and nearly 20 million RMB in R/U0026D and labor costs were spent. All sections of Honor of Kings have been completed, and the closed beta is finally about to begin. Chapter 274 Honor of Kings is officially in closed beta, attracting the attention of the whole people. In a single-family villa in Xingbei. After breakfast. Seeing Li Yuan answer the phone with a very surprised look on his face, Zhong Tingyu joked in surprise. "Senior, what good thing happened to you again, are you so excited?" Li Yuan chuckled, "The development of a game from our company has been completed and is about to enter the internal testing stage. I feel a little excited." Xia's Haijin, who was eating breakfast quietly on the side. After hearing Li Yuan's answer, he immediately thought of the game that cost a lot of money and asked in surprise. "Has Honor of Kings been successfully developed?" Li Yuan nodded, "Well, it has basically been successful. After the internal testing, some possible bugs in the game will be fixed, and then it can be officially launched." Bai Wuxi took a sip of millet porridge, stared at Li Yuan and Xia's Haijin curiously, and asked, "Brother, is the game you are talking about an online game?" Li Yuan looked at Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi, who looked slightly confused, and explained with a smile. "Didn't I tell you some time ago and take you to see it? The game developed by the company's Baiyujing studio is called Honor of Kings and it belongs to the large-scale computer multiplayer competition category. Online games, targeted at young college students. For this game, I have spent the most time, manpower, financial resources, and energy. Now, I can finally see the results." Li Yuan's voice was very excited. "I am already imagining in my mind the scene where this Honor of Kings will kill everyone in the market after it is launched, making money every day. This game is an important condition for him to achieve financial freedom and complete the jump in his own capital." Seeing Li Yuan's excited expression, Zhong Tingyu asked in surprise. "Senior, is this game really that great? This is the first time I see you so excited. For the epoch-making game Honor of Kings, it is the project that Li Yuan is most interested in." Now, he was finally about to see the dawn of victory and the internal beta was about to begin. How could he not be excited? Well, it's very important. There is no limit to the money you can make. According to my estimate, if this game is completed, it will be worth at least tens of billions, which is of epoch-making significance. Hey, with this game, we can just lie back and enjoy the rest of our lives. Listening to Li Yuan's answer, Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi chuckled, and they were both curious about what kind of game this was, which was so exaggerated by Li Yuan. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 478. Brother, can we follow along and have a look? Li Yuan smiled and said, "Of course, this is our family's property." When the three girls heard Li Yuan say the word family, they all looked at each other and smiled slightly. Recently, because they have had more contact with each other, their relationship has gradually become better. Besides living together, there is another reason. That is, they all believed in the stories Li Yuan told about his previous life. I believe Li Yuan's feelings for the three of them. Zhaijin, Xiaobai, Xiaoyu, let's go to the company together. Li Yuan immediately drove the three girls Xia's Haijin to Datang Technology Company. In the large conference room, Li Yuan, Xia's Haijin, Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, Hu Zhenqiang, Xie Zheng, Lin Yue, Tan Zonghua and other key personnel of the company. There are also more than 10 operators gathered together to prepare to demonstrate the game Honor of Kings. As the person in charge of the Baiyujing studio, Hu Zhenqiang was very excited at the moment and came to report to Li Yuan and the three proprietresses with great ambition. "Mr. Li, everyone, all the structures of the Honor of Kings game have been completed. Please allow me to show it to you. Li Yuan is also looking forward to it. He has recently been busy with the Milk Tea Sister competition, setting up a film and television entertainment company, recording an album, and celebrating Xia's Haijin's birthday. I really haven't seen this version of Honor of Kings before. Li Yuan smiled and said, Mr. Hu, please come and give us a detailed introduction. Hu Zhenqiang clapped his hands and immediately asked other operators to turn on the computer and perform actual operations. Opening the game, a familiar and passionate voice sounded. Welcome to the King of Glory. Li Yuan looked at the picture quality of the game screen. It was certainly incomparable to the mobile game version before the rebirth, but among the games of this era, it was also one of the top games. Mr. Li, this is our startup animation. It is also adapted based on the background story you wrote. It mainly tells the background world of Glory of the King. The ancient prehistoric world was shattered, forming world fragments of different latitudes. Under the influence of the supreme rules, races from different fragmented worlds gathered in a special area called the King's Canyon and started fighting, competing for different titles, and driving this world will be promoted, and the ultimate goal is to reintegrate the fragments of different worlds and complete the unification of the prehistoric world. Hu Zhenqiang talked eloquently to the about 3-minute startup animation, and roughly told the background story of Glory of the King. Li Yuan nodded frequently after hearing this. The game background of Honor of Kings in the original time and space is very good. Especially the game background animation is very nice. Many players have ridiculed it as playing games with your feet and making animations with your heart. As an online article author, Li Yuan has read so many online articles in his previous life. Li Yuan personally wrote a rough background story based on the original background story of Glory of the King and the setting of the prehistoric world of Chinese mythology. Including various different races, such as the human race with the largest population, as well as the legendary elves, demons, gods, machines, monsters, etc. Different races are all creatures from the original prehistoric world. After the prehistoric world was broken, they fell into different time dimensions. Then, some heroes of these races are summoned to the Canyon of Kings by real game players, commonly known as summoners, to fight. Summoners can continuously summon various heroes to fight, improve the abilities and titles of each hero, and repair the fragments of the continent that stabilize their world. The background setting of the story is very grand. This is Li Yuan's preparation for the future development of the game, which can continuously enhance the appeal of the game. The original Honor of Kings has gradually gone downhill after experiencing a hot era of nearly 7 or 8 years. One of the main reasons for this is that the playability of the game is not that strong. Some gamers, after getting the King badge, many of them stopped playing. The game he designed is based on the background story of the world, just like a trilogy of online novels. Whenever an achievement is achieved, the version can be continuously upgraded to maintain the long-term enthusiasm of gamers for the game. Hu Zhenqiang continued to introduce, our novice polling hero is Monkey King, the Monkey King. This is a figure that the Chinese people are familiar with. These are some of the summoner's own skills. All heroes have 3 skills. According to different hero characteristics and racial backgrounds, they are divided into assassins, mages, warriors, shooters, and auxiliaries. In addition to the hero's own skills, there are also some special skills that can be selected, such as flash, rage, punishment, purification, sprint, etc. Because this Honor of Kings game is completely based on Li Yuan's guidance, many hero equipment, skills, etc. are no different from the Honor of Kings in the original time and space. Looking at it this way, it doesn't feel inconsistent. Mr. Li, we have designed a total of 40 types of heroes now, and there are 8 types of heroes in each category. Some of the current hero names are mostly designed based on our Chinese mythology and historical figures. After Hu Zhenqiang introduced the game, heroes, skills, and equipment, he began to introduce the King's Canyon and various modes of the game. The game mode is mainly the ordinary 5v5, and the most important ranking match, which is divided into human-computer mode and competitive mode. Li Yuan looked at the King's Canyon that was 70% similar to the memory, but a little bigger, more like the map of League of Legends. This is not a mobile game after all, and the operation page of the computer is much larger than that of the mobile game. After Hu Zhenqiang finished the introduction, the live game demonstration began. The content of the demonstration, including the game mode. After the demonstration of various modes, more than 2 hours had passed, and Li Yuan was quite satisfied. The game made by Beijing Studio basically achieved all the goals that Li Yuan had when preparing to develop the game. Even the image of the hero is particularly beautiful, and the main feature is the appearance first. The game has been developed, and the most important thing is the game beta and the subsequent listing. Li Yuan asked, "Mr. Hu, Mr. Lin, Mr. Xie, how is the internal test plan you have come up with?" Hu Zhenqiang said, "Mr. Li, our initial plan is to release 1,000 internal test quotas, publish an announcement on Zhihu.com, and invite some well-known game players to conduct internal testing of the game, testing the damage, operation, game experience, etc. of various heroes. Mr. Li, please look at the screen. This is the internal test plan we prepared." Li Yuan looked at the internal test plan on the display screen carefully and felt quite satisfied. Overall, it's okay. Then prepare for the internal test according to this plan. Collect user feedback in detail and make some targeted optimizations. One point of particular attention is that if there are heroes that exceed the standard and destroy the balance of the game, adjust the attributes in time. Hu Zhenqiang hurriedly took notes. No one present doubted Li Yuan's talent. Even though they have been engaged in the game design industry for many years, they dare not put on airs in front of Li Yuan, a super genius. Because Li Yuan has already completely convinced them with his own vision and talent. After making arrangements for the game's internal testing, Li Yuan looked at the key backbones of the company present, such as Hu Zhenqiang, Xie Zheng, and other core game developers, whose mental and physical conditions were not very good. A groundbreaking large-scale game was able to be successfully developed from project establishment to development in just over 4 months. These game developers have made great efforts and hard work. As a conscientious capitalist, Li Yuan would not do such unscrupulous behavior as wanting the horse to run but not giving it grass to eat. For workers, the most important reward is material reward. Li Yuan coughed, looked at the backbone of the company in front of him, and solemnly announced an incentive measure. Our company's first game, Honor of Kings, has finally been developed with everyone's unremitting hard work. I see everyone's hard work. Now, I announce that the company is ready to take out 2 million cash rewards to reward all the R/U0026D personnel involved in Honor of Kings. As soon as Li Yuan opened his mouth, the entire conference room instantly became so quiet that you could hear a pin drop, and even the sound of breathing became a little hurried. A cash reward of 200 is a huge number, and each of them can get tens of thousands. Moreover, this is the reward for completing the game development. When the game is really launched, if the revenue is good, with Li Yuan's generosity, he will definitely give more rewards. Thank you, Mr. Li. Mr. Li is so good to us. Mr. Li's generosity is also very rare in the entire industry. After a moment of silence, the entire conference room began to discuss lively again. Li Yuan smiled and said, "You guys count the list, divide it according to everyone's contribution in the game, and then give the reward list to Director Xia." The financial director of Datang Technology is Xia's Haijin, who is mainly responsible for reviewing the company's finances. After arranging the game internal testing and personnel rewards, Li Yuan brought his 3 girlfriends to his office to experience the game. Li Yuan was also a little itchy about playing the game King of Glory and wanted to try it himself. Biwixi shyly stared at some of the female heroes who were wearing revealing clothes, and whispered to Li Yuan. "Brother, is the design of this hero too revealing?" Li Yuan laughed and said disapprovingly. "Xiaobai, you don't understand this, right? The exposure of this hero design can arouse discussion among players and maintain the popularity. Besides, this is the trend on the internet now. There are many games that are more revealing than this. If it really causes bad public opinion, we can make corrections." "Oh. So that's it, I don't quite understand." Biwixi nodded her head in sudden enlightenment and playfully stuck out her tongue at Li Yuan. Li Yuan looked at Biwixi, Zhong Tingyu, and Xia's Haijin, and said with a smile, "Do you want to try this game?" None of the three girls had ever played the game. When they heard Li Yuan's question, they were all eager to try it out, and answered in unison. Okay, senior, then you teach us." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 479. Okay, brother. Yeah. Li Yuan laughed and began to teach them how to operate. Compared with mobile games on smartphones, the operation of this kind of large-scale client games is still much more difficult, mainly controlling the direction, etc., which is not that easy. However, the three girls all have very high IQs. After Li Yuan personally demonstrated, they basically understood the basic operations of the game. In the game, Zhong Tingyu controlled Baby Daji and was beaten to death by Li Yuan with 3 monkey sticks. She stared at Li Yuan with an aggrieved look and hummed. "Senior, why do you keep killing me and still squatting in the grass?" Seeing Zhong Tingyu's aggrieved look, Li Yuan found it very interesting and joked. "Little Moon, a monkey is an assassin." "What an assassin is? He just kills people invisible, but he is not allowed to squat in the grass." Biwixi on the side controlled the assistant Chuang Zhou and asked curiously. "Brother, isn't Chuang Zhou one of the founders of the Taoist school? Taoists seem to be all magicians, right? Why is Chuang Zhou not a mage, but an assistant?" Li Yuan wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. "I thought to myself, how do I know this? I give guidance based on my memories of previous lives, so it is impossible to cover everything." Li Yuan laughed and explained, "Haha, although it is an auxiliary, Chuang Zhou's skills are all magic damage, and he can also be used as a mage. The position of a hero is just a position, and can be used in different ways, just like Daji can also be used as a mage. Assassins go to the jungle and squat in the grass to catch people." "Oh. Oh," Biwixi nodded, convinced of Li Yuan's statement. January 15, 2009. An official announcement was made on the front page of Zhihu.com. An epoch-making competitive game called Honor of Kings produced by Datang Technology Company under the name of Li Yuan has officially recruited professional game players to conduct internal testing of the game. As soon as this news was released, it immediately caused an uproar and widespread attention on the internet. As the most popular figure in the entire online literary, entertainment, and technology circles in the past 6 months, Li Yuan is not only a household name, but he is also extremely well known. I heard that the company under Li Yuan's name suddenly developed a so-called epoch-making competitive game, which instantly attracted national attention and discussion. Oh my god, Xiahua is such a god. When did he start playing games again, and he claims to be an epoch-making game? Hey, I have some inside information on this. I heard that as early September 2008, Xiahua Male God established a technology company called Datang Technology. The previous Zhihu.com was developed by this technology company. In addition to developing Zhihu.com, Datang Technology has also developed a game, but it has been kept highly confidential and now the news is suddenly released. Produced by Xiahua, It must be a high-quality product. There is no doubt that with Xiaohua's genius and vision, this game called Honor of Kings must be the best among the best. By the way, has anyone grabbed an invitation to the game's closed beta? How is this game? There are only 1,000 places for internal testing of the game, and they were all taken away less than 5 minutes after the news was released. It's not like you don't know the influence of Xiaohua. His fans are crazy and can go anywhere on the internet. The number of followers of Qiandu Taiba Xiaohua bar alone has reached 5 million, and its popularity remains high every day, not to mention the home base of Xiaohua's male god, Zhu.com. Latest news: according to the news released by the first batch of internal beta game players, this game called Honor of Kings is of very high quality. It is an epoch-making multiplayer online competitive game that combines Chinese myths and legends. Several well-known game bloggers in history have spoken very highly of this game. As a senior gamer, I have played various games for 7 or 8 years. I can responsibly tell you that the game Honor of Kings, whether it is background setting or character modeling, including the playability, is all legendary level. In addition to the intense discussion online, various websites, newspapers, magazines, TV stations, etc. are also constantly sending out various news about the internal beta test of Honor of Kings. In just 3 days, all over the internet, news about Honor of Kings is being discussed everywhere, which has really attracted the attention of the whole people and the focus of society. Chapter 275, Daily Turnover of over 100 million, a real money-attracting tool. Super genius Li Yuan is coming with the epoch-making game Honor of Kings. Major game companies, are you ready to face the challenge? Zhulang News. The front page headline of Motive Finance News Channel, exclusive interview, about the design ideas and origins of Honor of Kings, a new milestone in the online game industry. NetEase News, opening up a game track, let us wait and see whether it is the imagination of the genius or the fall of the genius. UC Browser, shocked, Xiaohua entered the field of games because of this. As the popular fried chicken Li Yuan with his own traffic. Just over a week after the selection of Milk Tea Sister, they suddenly opened up a new track in a new field. The uproar caused was like a typhoon of magnitude 18, sweeping across the country. Competing reports from major websites and newspapers have also made Honor of Kings more and more popular and attracted national attention. As Li Yuan's base camp, the discussion on the forum of Daxia University was in full swing. As Li Yuan's classmates, some students in the computer class were asked by many people. In the university student entrepreneurship base, several students who worked part-time together asked curiously, "Lucia, aren't you and Mr. Li roommates? When did he develop this game?" Lucia shrugged, "I don't know either. He is rarely seen every day. He is too busy and basically doesn't go back to the dormitory." Another boy with glasses asked curiously, "I saw what was said on the internet. This game has been developed for several months. Has anyone played it?" "We haven't played it either, but there are detailed explanation videos on the internet. It looks quite attractive." Several people in the university student entrepreneurship base shook their heads. In this entrepreneurship base, they basically do some website post maintenance. It was found that there were malicious insults, slanders, malicious rhythm posts, etc., which would have a negative impact on the website. To actively delete posts and ban them to maintain the purity and attractiveness of the website. After all, if a website becomes a cesspool full of malicious insults and slander, it will not be far from being destroyed. As a person who has experienced it, Li Yuan has personally experienced various forums. In the end, they basically become fan circles and insults, resulting in a very bad forum environment. Although it will bring huge traffic in a short period of time, it will become a false prosperity over time, losing a large number of loyal users and moving to other new positions. A junior part-time student studying game design side. "We are in this entrepreneurial base, although the treatment is very good, but it always feels boring. It would be great if we could enter the company's game development department. When he said this, others immediately agreed. They are all students from 985 universities. Which one is not arrogant and wants to make a career? Lucia, Wu Hao, Xiaoqiang, you are all Mr. Li's roommates, and you have such a good relationship. You can ask Mr. Li indirectly, can we go to the company's R/U0026D department for internship? Even if the salary is lower, it's fine. Yes, it's easy here, but you can't learn anything. If I can participate in the development of important products like King of Glory or Zhihu.com, I feel very excited just thinking about it. After listening to the words of several seniors, Lucia, Wu Hao and others looked at each other in bewilderment. During the time they worked part-time at the college student entrepreneurship base, they also learned a lot of knowledge from several seniors. Well, when we meet Brother Yuan, I'll ask him for you. He should be very busy recently. That's for sure. Tomorrow, January 20th, Honor of Kings will be launched online. I wonder what kind of results it will achieve. I dare not say anything else, but with Li Yuan's huge influence, this Honor of Kings will definitely make a lot of money. Maybe the turnover on the first day of launch will exceed 10 million. Speaking of making money, Lucia, Wu Hao, do you know how much Li Yuan is worth now? Lucia shook his head and tentatively said a rough number. I don't know, I feel that it must be at least more than 100 million. A pretty senior sister curled her lips. 100 million. Who are you looking down on? Do you know how much money his current Chayan USE milk tea shop can make in a day? Lucia really didn't know, he only knew that the business was very good, and asked in confusion. I really don't know. How much can you make in a day? The senior sister looked with an envious look. She replied, I have a high school classmate who works at Li Yuan's Chayan USE. I heard her say that Chayan USE milk tea shop has a daily net profit of more than 1 million, which is 30 million a month. Lucia widened his eyes and replied in astonishment, oh my god, so exaggerated. Doesn't that mean that Li Yuan can make hundreds of millions a year? The beautiful senior shook her head, it should be more than that. The valuation of our company's Zhihu.com has reached 1 billion, and there is also this King of Glory, plus Chayan USE. Perhaps, by the time he graduates from college, Li Yuan's net worth will have reached the 10 billion level. Lucia, Wu Hao, Xiaoqiang, you are Li Yuan's college roommates. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As long as you follow Li Yuan, you don't have to worry about the rest of your life. Oh, I really envy you. Lucia, Wu Hao and Suzuki-yang smiled at each other, all with a proud expression. Hee, Brother Yuan is really good to us brothers. January 20th, 2009, 8 o'clock in the morning. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 480. Under the attention of hundreds of millions of netizens in China, Honor of Kings has been officially launched after internal beta optimization and adjustment, and is available for free download on the official website and major software managers. Li Yuan and his girlfriend Xiaz Haijin, Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi watched the first day data together. Li Yuan had great expectations for the data officially launched today, and was also very nervous. Although various well-known game bloggers and netizens gave almost unanimous praise to this game during the internal beta, and the discussion on the internet was also very high, it is still unknown how the market feedback will be when it is really launched. After all, this is the first competitive game in China that is played on a real-person platform. Some game players may have a low acceptance and will wait and see. Unlike the later mobile game Honor of Kings, which has gone through the era of League of Legends, it is very popular and much easier to operate. Beside him, Zhong Tingyu looked at Li Yuan, who was tense, and whispered in his ear. Senior, you look a little nervous. Li Yuan pinched Zhong Tingyu's little hand, smiled and nodded. It's a lie to say I'm not nervous. I value this game very much. Although I am very sure that this game will be a great success, I am still a little nervous before the final result comes out. Zhong Tingyu looked at Li Yuan's cheek and smiled. In the eyes of outsiders, Li Yuan is a talented and extremely confident super genius. He looks confident in everything he does, as if he can do everything. However, only the few people around them know that Li Yuan is an ordinary person while being talented. There are joys, sorrows, worries, and expectations, and there are fears that what you do will not achieve the desired results. Zhong Tingyu stretched out her little hand to hold Li Yuan's hand, put his hand on her thigh wearing stockings, rubbed it gently, and approached Li Yuan's earlobe with a cherry-like breath. Senior, you are so great, don't worry. The itchy feeling beside the ear made Li Yuan dispel the nervousness in his heart. He stretched out his hand and gently stroked Zhong Tingyu's thigh for a while. Even in winter, the weather in the Magic City is not too cold. A girl who loves beauty like Zhong Tingyu is still dressed like a cold goddess, with a goddess temperament and a feeling that you can never get tired of seeing. Li Yuan smiled and whispered, "Little moon, what do you mean by so great?" Zhong Tingyu threw an ambiguous look at Li Yuan and smiled secretly. Senior, what do you think? Li Yuan looked down at the two sisters who wanted to escape from the cage. After several months of his personal training, her body has become more plump, from immature to mature, with more mature and sexy charm. Hee, I don't think it's important, what's important is what you think. Li Yuan stared at Zhong Tingyu meaningfully and joked. You are the one who has experienced it firsthand, and you have more say. Little moon, am I right? Zhong Tingyu has long been accustomed to Li Yuan's aggressive gaze and colored words. She rolled her eyes at him shyly, and her sexy lips opened slightly beside his ear. Senior, my relatives are gone, you can let go tonight. Li Yuan listened to Zhong Tingyu's words, his eyes suddenly lit up, and his heartbeat accelerated. Just because the period has just gone, doesn't it mean that you can go to NS without restraint? When he and his girlfriends play poker, they often can't NS without restraint. Especially after the first time, they are all very careful next time, afraid of winning the prize suddenly. But for Li Yuan, in order to give Li Yuan a better experience, he would calculate his own cycle specially. Li Yuan himself still loves his girlfriends very much and doesn't want to hurt them too much. Even with Baiwuxi, after the first few NS, he also paid more attention when playing poker, and didn't do those things recklessly. Li Yuan really understands a truth: if you often walk by the river, you will get your shoes wet. If there are no safety measures, there will definitely be girlfriends who will be caught. They are just freshmen, and if they are caught now, it is not appropriate, and they will definitely bear the strange eyes of others. If they really have to wait until they graduate from college, Li Yuan will not care, and he will definitely find ways to leave more descendants for the old Li family and give them a guarantee in the future. Otherwise, it would be a big loss if he made so much money but didn't even have an heir. Li Yuan suddenly felt distracted. Looking at Zhong Tingyu's stunning beauty, he felt itchy in his heart and wanted to kill him right in the office. However, Baiwuxi and Xia's Haijin were also in the office. In the company, Hu Zhenqiang and others would come in to report data at any time. Li Yuan could only endure his distracted mind and whispered in Zhong Tingyu's ear. Little moon, I will deal with you when I get home tonight. Zhong Tingyu blinked and replied with a smile. Senior, I'm ready. As he said that, he quoted a line from Daji Baby in Glory of the King. Master, come and play with Daji. Li Yuan listened to Zhong Tingyu's lines as Daji, and suddenly thought of a picture in his mind. What kind of experience would it be like to wait until later and let Zhong Tingyu, Baiwuxi, and Xia's Haijin cosplay the heroines in Glory of Kings? With their three divine looks, they will definitely be particularly beautiful, exciting, and attractive. I almost forgot that there is also a game like cosplay. I want them to try it more in the future. Hee, it's such a happy decision. Zhong Tingyu suddenly shuddered when she listened to Li Yuan's whisper, feeling that Li Yuan seemed to have some bad idea. Senior, your smile is so scary. Are you having bad ideas again? Li Yuan smiled mysteriously, you will know later. Amid the laughter with several girlfriends, it has been an hour since Honor of Kings was officially launched. Hu Zhenqiang came to the office excitedly and reported the first hour's data to Li Yuan. Mr. Li, good news, the game has been downloaded more than 300,000 times in the first hour, and the turnover has exceeded 1 million, and it continues to grow steadily and rapidly. Among them, the main source of turnover is users purchasing game heroes and hero skins. Li Yuan listened to Hu Zhenqiang's report and nodded. The data in the first hour had greatly exceeded his expectations. Because it was morning, the data was already very good. The way to make money in this Honor of Kings is roughly the same as the way of making money in the previous life of Honor of Kings. In other words, the methods of making money in most games are very similar. The main thing is to buy heroes, buy skins, buy inscriptions, buy various game props, etc. However, Honor of Kings is not a gold-based game. In addition to skins, other heroes, inscriptions, etc. can be purchased with gold coins, and gold coins can be slowly accumulated by playing games. On one side, it takes time, on the other side, it costs money. It all depends on which choice the player makes. Not bad, we are very close to initial success. Li Yuan looked more relaxed and urged. The most important thing now is to pay attention to the player's gaming experience and solve various problems that may be faced, such as frame drops, freezes, disconnect ions, etc. Hu Zhenqiang stopped his excitement and nodded solemnly. Now is indeed not the time to get carried away. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and now we are just beginning to climb the ladder to success. Throughout January 20th, Li Yuan stayed in the company to check the online user experience of Honor of Kings and various data. By 8 o'clock the next morning, the first day's data for Honor of Kings had been released. The number of registered users downloading within 24 hours reached 3,542,370, of which the number of registered female users also reached an astonishing 500,000. This is already a relatively huge number in computer competitive games. Among them, there are many female users who come purely for Li Yuan's reputation. Because there are already rumors on the internet that Li Yuan will appear in the game. Moreover, these female fans have very strong spending power. They can buy some inscriptions, heroes, and skins without blinking an eye. It is not a problem at all to spend thousands of yuan to grab concert tickets and buy milk tea, but to let them spend hundreds of yuan to play games. The huge star effect brings about the first day recharge turnover, which is very huge. On January 20th, the cash recharge volume on the first day also reached an astonishing 105 million yuan. This is under the premise that there are various activities for downloading on the first day. If various users are already familiar with the game, then the data in the future will be even more exaggerated. It can be said that this Honor of Kings has recovered the cost of research and development on the first day it was launched, making it a real success. After the data was released on the first day, major websites and news media naturally rushed to report on it, almost with the same caliber, praising this Honor of Kings.